Have you ever noticed how incredibly uncomfortable it feels to be the only person in a room who disagrees with a popular opinion? Or perhaps you felt that subtle, persistent pressure to follow a specific career path, buy a certain type of house, or invest in whatever everyone else is talking about, even if it doesn't align with your gut feeling. This isn't just a social awkwardness. It is a biological battleground. Most people spend their entire lives as echoes of other people's thoughts, never realizing that their greatest competitive advantage, their own individuality, is being slowly suffocated by the crowd. The urge to conform is one of the deepest instincts we possess. In the ancient world, being part of the tribe meant survival, and being cast out meant death. Your brain is literally wired to equate fitting in with staying alive. But in the modern world of professionals and entrepreneurs, this ancient software has become a massive liability. Following the crowd today doesn't lead to safety. It leads to mediocrity, burnout, and a life that belongs to everyone except you. Welcome back to VF Growth Tutorials. Today we are diving into the core of our Independence of Thought playlist. We are going to deconstruct the herd instinct that is quietly sabotaging your potential, examine the psychological experiments that prove how easily we are manipulated by the majority, and most importantly, we will begin to outline the ultimate strategy for true self-reliance. This isn't just about being a rebel. This is about reclaiming your cognitive sovereignty so you can live with absolute clarity and confidence. To master self-reliance, we first have to understand the sheer power of the social proof trap. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a series of famous experiments that changed our understanding of human behavior forever. He put a participant in a room with several other people who were secretly part of the experiment. They were shown a simple line and asked to match it with one of 3 other lines of varying lengths. The answer was obvious. However, when the secret actors all chose the clearly wrong answer, something shocking happened. About 75% of the participants went along with the group and gave the wrong answer at least once, even though they could see the truth with their own eyes. Why did they do it? When interviewed afterward, many said they didn't want to rock the boat or appear foolish. But fMRI scans in modern versions of this study show something even more intense. When we disagree with the group, the part of our brain associated with physical pain, the amygdala, actually lights up. To your brain, standing alone feels like being physically wounded. This is why it is so hard to be an independent thinker. You aren't just fighting a bad habit. You are fighting a biological alarm system. Following the crowd is the path of least resistance. It requires zero energy and zero risk in the short term. But the long-term cost is the total loss of your unique value. If you are doing exactly what everyone else in your industry is doing, you are a commodity. You are replaceable. True success, whether in business or in life, comes from the courage to see what others are missing because they are too busy looking at each other for permission. By the way, if you're finding this analysis of the herd instinct valuable, please leave a like right now. It really helps the channel reach more people who are looking to break free from conventional thinking. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet, because we bring you these deep dives into independent thought every week. And share this video with someone who is ready to start building their own path. The first step toward self-reliance is realizing that the crowd is often wrong. Not because they are unintelligent, but because they are lazy by design. The group doesn't seek the truth. It seeks consensus. It seeks the comfort of agreement. When you stop looking for consensus and start looking for first principles, the fundamental truths of a situation, you immediately move into the top 1% of thinkers. But self-reliance isn't just about ignoring others. It's about building a robust internal compass that is stronger than the external pressure. It's about developing the mental fortitude to sit with that feeling of social pain and not let it dictate your actions. Most people are other-directed. Their self-worth is a reflection of how the group perceives them. A self-reliant person is inner-directed. Their worth is anchored in their own values and their own assessment of reality. In the next part, I'm going to reveal the specific 4-pillar strategy you can use to transition from being a follower to becoming a self-reliant leader. We'll talk about how to audit your influences, how to build confidence through competence, and the one question you must ask yourself every morning to ensure you aren't accidentally slipping back into the herd. How do we actually bridge the gap between being a follower and becoming a self-reliant leader? It isn't enough to just decide to be independent. You have to build the infrastructure that supports it. This is where the ultimate strategy for self-reliance comes in. A 4-pillar framework designed to anchor your mind so firmly in your own reality that the weight of the crowd can no longer move you. The first pillar is the environmental audit. You've probably heard that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But in the digital age, you are also the average of the 5 ideas you consume the most. If your social media feed, your news sources, and your professional circles are all echoing the same conventional wisdom, your brain will naturally adopt those thoughts as its own default. To be self-reliant, you must intentionally diversify your intellectual diet. Seek out thinkers who challenge your current worldview. Read books that have stood the test of time, rather than just the latest trending articles. When you broaden the data coming in, your brain stops seeing the crowd's opinion as the only available option. You are essentially breaking the monopoly that the herd has on your attention. The second pillar is confidence through competence. Many people mistake self-reliance for arrogance, a me against the world attitude. But true self-reliance is actually built on a foundation of proven results. You cannot trust your own judgment if you have never tested it. This is why you must start making small, independent decisions and following through on them. When you make a choice that goes against the grain, even something as small as a different investment strategy or a unique workflow, and you see it succeed, you are providing your brain with evidence of competence. This evidence is what builds genuine self-trust. Over time, your brain begins to realize that your independent analysis is often more reliable than the collective guess of the crowd. The third pillar is the willingness to be wrong. This sounds counterintuitive, but it is the secret weapon of the world's most independent thinkers. The crowd is terrified of being wrong because, for them, being wrong equals losing social status. They would rather be wrong with the group than right by themselves. A self-reliant person, however, is more interested in the truth than in being right. When you detach your ego from your opinions, you become incredibly dangerous to the status quo. You are free to change your mind the moment you see better data. While the herd is still defending an outdated idea to save face, you have already pivoted toward the truth. This intellectual flexibility is what allows entrepreneurs to find opportunities where everyone else only sees a dead end. The fourth and final pillar is value-anchored decision-making. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. Most people follow the crowd because they haven't defined their own core values. They are like ships without an anchor, tossed around by every new cultural or professional wave. To be self-reliant, you must clearly define your North Star. What are the non-negotiables of your life and career? Is it autonomy, innovation, integrity? When you have a clear set of values, every decision becomes simpler. Instead of asking, "What is everyone else doing?" you ask, "Does this choice align with my core values?" If the answer is no, it doesn't matter if 1 million people are doing it. You won't. This leads us to the one question you must ask yourself every single morning to ensure you aren't accidentally slipping back into the herd. As you look at your to-do list and your goals for the day, ask, is this a choice I am making, or is this a choice that was made for me? This simple audit forces your prefrontal cortex to activate. It pulls you out of the autopilot of social conditioning and puts you back in the driver's seat. Stopping the habit of following the crowd is not an overnight event. It is a daily practice of choosing clarity over comfort. It is the realization that your individuality is not a bug in the system. It is the feature. The most successful people in history weren't those who followed the path most traveled. They were those who had the courage to look at the map, realize it was wrong, and start walking in their own direction. Self-reliance is the ultimate freedom, because it means you are no longer a hostage to the opinions of others. You are the architect of your own reality. I really appreciate each person who has stayed here and watched this video until the very end. It tells me that you are someone who values your own mind and is ready to take full responsibility for your path. If you found this strategy for self-reliance valuable, a like helps tremendously with our visibility and helps this message reach other independent thinkers who might be feeling lost in the crowd. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to join our community. I personally read every single comment, and I'm curious to know, what's one area of your life where you've recently decided to stop following the crowd? Let's talk about it in the comments below, as I'm really looking forward to hearing your perspectives. And don't forget to share this with someone who is ready to reclaim their own independence. Also, the YouTube system is recommending another video on your screen right now from our Independence of Thought playlist. Go ahead and give it a look, because we have a lot more to explore together on this journey of self-mastery. I'll see you in the next one.